Welcome to Mr. Lister's Music Notes. Hello Year 6 and welcome to the third of my online music sessions. We're going to carry on learning about the new time value, 3 beats in the bar, and finding out how different rhythms can fit together. Also in today's Music for Winter session, we will see more of the dance started by those pupils at the school and see how you can take part as well if you'd like to. But first, we're going to Norway to find out a little more about a modern day composer called Terje Isungset. Terje Isungset was born in Norway in 1964. He is one of Europe's most accomplished and innovative percussionists. During his high school days, he would play drums and play for dances and parties. And also he played in a lot of Norwegian pop songs. But after a while, he began to experiment with making percussion instruments with natural materials found in Norway. He would make instruments such as xylophones, glockenspiels, drums, trumpets and bells from Norwegian natural elements such as birch, wood, granite, slate and ice. Look at these pictures of instruments made out of ice.
Terje Isungset takes this natural material like ice and makes instruments. Here's a trumpet. There is a cello. The sound box is made out of ice, although it has a wooden fretboard and strings attached to it. Here is a harp. Notice how it looks like a harp, but of course there are strings in between to play on. But all the time he's using the natural material of ice, in this case, to make the body of the instrument.
Terje has been asked to compose music for jazz and folk festivals and film festivals all over the world, but always using materials made from natural elements, in many cases using ice. These instruments create new sounds. Look at this film, which was made in the Arctic, possibly the most northern concert ever. This truly is music for winter. Brrr. I don't imagine you ever thought you could make instruments out of ice. I think it's time to warm ourselves up now with some rhythm work. Have you got your instrument ready? If not, pause this video and go and find your instrument and then restart it. I'll see you in a moment. Well, here we have our rhythms in 3 time. You will remember this page from before, and if you look carefully you'll see we have different rhythms, but all these bars add up to 3 beats in a bar with our combination of quavers and crotchets and minims, dotted minims. There are no semi-breves, of course, because semi-breves are worth 4 beats, and you won't find any 4-beat notes, long ones, written in 3 time. You can't fit it in the bar. So here we are. Just remind ourselves how these ones work. All right, here we go. Just have a look at this one here. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very easy. Then we have this lilty rhythm, where it's minim followed by a crotchet. Yeah, and this one goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then of course we have these quavers. I always put an and in, 1 and 2 and. Remind me there's an extra quaver we need to put in, and of course there's 6 in each bar. So it sounds 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and. Notice I emphasize the first beat each time. Just remind us that is the first beat of the bar. And then we have some variations of all this sort of idea, where we've got quavers followed by a crotchet, and that one goes 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 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 3. And then we get this one here, which is another variation, where we have quavers and crotchets, and that goes 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3. So now we get this selection where we have a combination of all these sort of put together to make the rhythms more interesting, because otherwise rhythms can be a bit boring if we're just playing quavers all the time. So we like to sort of jazz it up a bit and have different rhythms put together. So here is the first one. All right, I will play it through once and then you can have a go playing it yourself or join in at the same time. So here it is: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Did you get that? Let's do it again, and I will then point to it, all right, and count at the same time. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at this one. Here we go. I'll play it again to you. All right, starts with this lilty rhythm at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Got to keep yourself going with these quavers here. Don't run out of steam. Have a go. Here we are. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And our last one of these. Here it is, the bottom one line. Okay, I'll do it for you and then you can have a go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You have a go on this last rhythm. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now we have explored the time values of a quaver, a crotchet, a minim, a dotted minim and a semibreve. As you see, we can put these different time values together and create rhythms. Why don't you have a go at writing down a few rhythms of your own and playing them? We did a little bit of this last term. See if you can remember what you did and try jotting down a few rhythms and seeing if you can tap them out. We've been studying Antonio Vivaldi's first movement from his Winter Concerto. You remember how he has a solo violinist playing with a small Baroque orchestra. Do you also remember how the conductor often would play from the harpsichord as well? He would conduct and play sometimes at the same time, playing with his left hand and playing a bass line and then conducting with his right. The harpsichord was a really important instrument in the 17th and 18th centuries, and most families would have someone in the family who could play. Here is a little piece of harpsichord music so you can hear what the instrument really sounds like. It looks like a piano, but it's not a piano. The piano was invented probably 50, 70 years later into the 19th century. But this is the harpsichord, and the harpsichord is the forerunner of the piano. And there's a little bit of a difference in that, remember, the piano is where you would actually hit the notes. A hammer would go across one of the strings, so you get this. But in a harpsichord, you had little what called jacks, which would pluck a string like this, just like you do on a guitar. And that's why you get that distinctive harpsichord sound. We will hear the winter music again at the end of this session. But before we do, I thought you'd like to see how far those in school have got with their winter dance. Well, they finished it, and you'll see what they did. You saw last time that they counted bars, 11 of them actually, and froze on the first beat. Then they swayed when the violin came in and played, as if wind was passing through them. And then they kept themselves warm after that by marching to a well-known section of the piece. The next part of the dance was suggested by the pupils themselves. You will see individual pupils doing a little bit of a dance. Perhaps you could do something similar. What could your cold and icy movement be? What would it be like? Are you wind or rain? Are you ice or snow? Are you frozen or just cold? Have a watch. Well, this brings us to the end and a close to our work with Antonio Vivaldi. We have further studied rhythms in 3/time, found out about the Norwegian composer and ice creator Terje Isungset, and explored some more dance ideas with Vivaldi's music. After half term, we will find out about another great composer who was also a trailblazer. Her name was Florence Price. Why was she a trailblazer? Because she was an African American woman who struggled with racism and gender in the early part of the 20th century and became a great musician and composer. So we will find out all about her later. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. And here is one last rendering of Vivaldi's winter music.